Your exchange just froze your withdrawals, and before you could even panic, you watched thousands of dollars sit completely out of reach. Not lost, not stolen, just locked. Welcome to one of crypto's most gut-wrenching plot twists. And trust me, you are not alone in this nightmare. It happened to hundreds of thousands of people during the FTX collapse of 2022, when over $8 billion in customer funds vanished behind locked doors and corporate chaos. The freeze wasn't just a technical glitch. It was the canary in the coal mine screaming that something was catastrophically wrong. Think of a centralized exchange like a coat check at a fancy restaurant. You hand over your coat, get a little ticket, and just trust they'll give it back. The problem is, some of these coat check guys were secretly wearing your coat to after parties and betting it on poker games. There was a time when phrases like, "not your keys, not your coins," felt like paranoid ranting from tinfoil hat Bitcoin maximalists in forum threads. But now that line reads less like a warning and more like a prophecy that too many of us ignored at our own expensive lesson. The psychological spiral when your exchange freezes is brutal. You refresh the app every 30 seconds. You post frantically in Reddit threads. You DM customer support into a void. Experts like Nick Carter and Andreas Antonopoulos have spent years saying the same thing. Self-custody is not optional. It's the whole point. Here's the cold truth. Crypto exchange collapses follow a shockingly predictable cycle of euphoria, opacity, over-leverage, and then a very public unraveling. Celsius, Voyager, BlockFi, FTX, they didn't fail randomly. They failed because they were all playing the same reckless game with other people's money. A common misconception is that if your exchange is regulated or popular, your funds are somehow guaranteed or insured like a bank account. Most crypto exchanges are not FDIC insured, and regulated simply means they filed some paperwork. It does not mean your assets are protected if they blow up. So what do you actually do when the freeze hits? First, document everything immediately. Screenshots of your balances, transaction history, any communications, because that paper trail becomes your legal ammunition. Second, file complaints with the FTC, your state's financial regulator, and if applicable, pursue action through a crypto recovery attorney, because frozen doesn't always mean gone forever. The historical lesson here is simple. Never keep more on any exchange than you are fully prepared to lose. Think of exchange balances the way a poker player thinks about money on the table. It's in play, it's at risk. And disciplined players never go all in with money they can't afford to lose. Hardware wallets like Ledger or Trezor are not complicated or only for tech wizards. They are the single most effective tool for making sure your assets are yours and only yours. Moving your long-term holdings to cold storage is the financial equivalent of keeping your savings in a safe, rather than leaving cash on the kitchen counter. The beautiful irony is that the very technology blockchain is built on decentralization is also the solution to the problem that centralized exchanges created. When you hold your own keys, no CEO's bad bet, no regulatory crackdown, and no liquidity crisis can reach into your wallet. Position size matters enormously here. If losing everything on a single exchange would devastate you financially, your position size on that exchange is too large. Discipline in this space isn't about having the best alpha or the sharpest market timing. It's about surviving long enough to be right. And here's the philosophical kicker. The people who came out of the FTX collapse with the least damage were not the ones who predicted it. They were the ones who had already built systems that didn't depend on trust. Process beats conviction every single time. And that's as true in crypto as it is in life. Prepare like the freeze is coming. Because statistically, in a space this young and this unregulated, it very well might. The goal isn't to be afraid, it's to be so well positioned that any outcome, good or bad, is one you already have a plan for. Whether you're protecting digital assets, building real wealth through property, or navigating the financial landscape for the first time, we're here to help. Check out our links in the description below to get started with real estate investing, home contracting work, and connecting with trusted lenders.